And we're back. We're live. It's Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. As always, we go live. So just give it a minute for a few people to come in. We're on YouTube and Facebook here today. So how are we doing? We have a few people coming in. Who do we have here today? I'm just going to give it another couple of seconds. You know the drill. Just for a few more people to join us. So there's a few more people coming in. How are we all doing? Who do we have here today? I'm going to put the comments on the screen there. Right, so we're going to get straight into it. Hope all is well. Happy Tuesday. Boom. So as always, I start with a few congratulations to a few of our students. On the left, congratulations to Danielle. She passed with myself. She was over in Finglas. Congratulations, Danielle. And we had Josephine with Patricio over in Mulhuddard. Congratulations, Josephine. We had Catherine on the left with James. She done automatic in Finglas. A big, huge congratulations to Catherine. She put a lot of work into this one. There was a lot going on there. She had to overcome a few obstacles getting there, but herself and James, they put in the graft and they got the pass. Absolutely over the moon for Catherine. So congratulations, Catherine. We had Hillary also passing in Mulhuddard again with Patrick or Patricio. Congratulations, Hillary. We had Izzat with James also in Finglas. That's Izzat's pass there as well. Congratulations, Izzat, young man. We also had Sidara over in Maple House again with Patrick or Patricio. He is on fire. He is the man in Mulhuddard or Maple House. So many passes every week. I passed with Finglas, only 4 grade 2s. Who's that below? I can't remember that one. We had on the left Abby, one of my students over in Tala. Congratulations, Abby. And then we had Samantha there, the text. She finally passed in NACE on the 4th attempt. Samantha has been very vocal on the WhatsApp group. She's she's a student of FlexiDrive, I think. So she was welcomed into the WhatsApp group. She put a lot of work into this pass. So I'm delighted for you, Samantha. Thank you so much for joining the WhatsApp group and joining the chats. And now you can forget all about it. So congratulations and safe driving to all of you guys in the future. So I think that's everybody. Yeah. Not too many questions came through, lads. So feel free to put a few in the comment section there and I'll go through them after this. Also, if you do want to come and join the membership and join the WhatsApp group so you can join in on the conversation, it's the second link down in the description there. All right. So straight into it here. So do you get marked down for not using your handbrake every time you're stopped at a red light or in heavy traffic? And the answer is no. They tend not to mark for it. You are kind of supposed to use it does say in the marking sheet guidelines when you're stopped for a prolonged period of time in traffic or at a red light, but they don't really mark for it. If you're more comfortable using the foot brake with your clutch in, that's grand. Or if you're in the automatic, you can just sit there with your foot on the clutch, on the brake. It's no problem whatsoever. Next, we have, are you allowed to adjust your left mirror before doing the reverse around the corner once your car is stationary? And can you adjust it back to normal when finishing the reverse around the corner? And the answer is yes, of course you can adjust it before the reverse. A lot of the time, people adjust it and they don't even need to. So just making sure that your left mirror isn't like too high and it's not pointing up towards the sky. When you're like, you should be able to see the footpath when you're reversing around the corner without adjusting. If it makes you feel more comfortable to adjust your left mirror, by all means, tilt it down slightly. But it's very important when you're finished the maneuver, before you move off, you have to put it back to where it was. Otherwise, you could get a mark for checks. Is it an automatic fail if you hit the curb during reversing around the corner or when pulling over to park on the left? Not necessarily an automatic fail. It's definitely a mark if you do it for the reverse around the corner. If you bounce off the footpath or you mount the footpath, that would be a grade 3 for competency. When it comes to parking on the left-hand side, that would be either if you just touch off the footpath, it will be a grade 2 for position stopping. If you bounce off it or mount it, it will be a grade 3. So just be mindful of that one. If I don't get a good look at the speed limit sign during the test, is there a way to best gauge the speed limit otherwise? So the trick, like you do have to look out for the speed limits as you're driving. Like, but usually you only see the speed limit once. So say for instance, we're turning right, we're on a major road, we're coming into a housing estate. You will see the sign for 30 if the speed limit changes as you come into the housing estate. But every road will be 30 in that estate until you come back out onto a major road, and you should see a sign for 50 or 60 or whatever as you come out. So just be mindful of that. There is a little trick that I do sort of tell people. If you are driving on a major road and there's a few kind of estates either side, if you do take a little glance to either side road and there's a sign for 30 on each of them, it means you're probably on a 50, because again, it wouldn't tell you if the speed limit changed. Another one that it's not 100% fact, but usually the roads with no markings, no white line up the middle, usually they're 30. Now, it's not to say that there is a lot of 50s with no road markings as well, but generally the 30 roads have no road markings, and once you get onto the bigger 50 roads or 60, they will have the white center line and all the other road markings. So, but that's not exact. So just that's just kind of 90% of the time. That works really well in Finglas and Raheny, that road. So this one is an important one, and this gets asked every time. So it looks like we're turning right at the traffic lights here. If I'm turning right and waiting for a gap in the opposite direction, can I cross the line on a green light and wait behind where I drew? So lads, we do cover this all the time. I'm at a red light, the light turns green, the first car has to go up to the middle and stop in the middle of the junction and wait for the first available gap to appear in the traffic. If you wait behind the line at a green light, it's the opposite of the rules of the road. Just remember, a green circle or a solid green light means go in any direction. But we just add in the bit when it's safe to do so or with caution. So a green light, if I'm the first car and I wait behind the line, that would probably be a grade 3 for progress at traffic lights. The first car has to go up to the middle and wait for the first available safe gap. If you get a first available safe gap and you don't go because you're waiting on the arrow, that is also a fail. Because remember, green means go. Green means proceed with caution. So when there's no cars coming, clear the junction on a green light. Do not wait for an arrow. It's a failed driving test if you don't go at a green light when it's safe. Very important, that one. Yep. Oh, I better shut that WhatsApp down. So this one was about roundabouts. I kind of just glossed over this one. So I'm in Artane roundabout. So okay, I'll read it out first. It's a bit different than usual. Left lane is for turning left only, and if you go straight through, you're in the right lane because the left lane is for left only. So my question is, the examiner tells me that I'm going straight through second exit. I'd be normally positioned in the left because the arrows they put are very beginning of the roundabout. It's really easy to miss. Maybe for you it's easy to spot because you may know that roundabout, but I won't remember. Hold on, there's too much stuff in the way. I won't remember when I'm on a roundabout, if it's the Artane roundabout or other roundabout. So this is, if you're doing your test in Raheny, for instance, or this could be Tala, because the same at the hospital, the left lane is for left only. The reason why you're doing your pre-test and your mock test is you're preparing yourself for the day you test. So what you're saying there is you're saying, okay, I know that I have to go straight through in the right lane, but on the test I might forget and go up in the left lane. If you know the correct answer to how to do something, don't do it wrong. I know that sounds so simple. That would be like going into a mathematics exam, knowing 2 plus 2 is 4, but because you're under pressure, you answer 17. If you know the right answer, you just have to do the right thing. That's why you're doing the pre-tests or you're doing your mock tests. You're getting all these kind of potential hazards out of the way. That's why I don't really recommend going to test centers that you don't know, because that's how stuff like this catches you out. So if you know what to do, you have to just make sure you do it. That's the reason why you're doing your pre-test in that area, to get ready for the test in that area. You know what I mean? So if you know the correct answer, just do what you know is right. Don't go against what you know, because otherwise you won't get the result. My test is tomorrow in Raheny at 8:15. Do you think it will be busy? The 8:15 slot in Raheny, that's a stinker of a slot, that is. The good thing about this week, now I know that was that was yourself that sent that, was it? You were unsuccessful. I'm sorry to hear that, but you were lucky because I believe the schools are off, are they? Or was that last week? I don't know. I can't remember. But 8:15 in Raheny is an absolute stinker. I absolutely hate that time. That there's too many schools in around the test centre. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the schools are in. I don't know. But let us know what happened to you if you're on the call. Next, we have. I haven't started my driving lessons yet, but I've heard that it can take months to get a test date. Can I book my driving test before starting the lessons? What would you all suggest? So yes, you definitely can. I don't really like, if you can't drive, I wouldn't even bother doing it, because you have so much stuff to kind of do before you get to your test. Especially like if you're a brand new driver, you haven't got a car, just take it one lesson at a time. You know what I mean? For you to go in and book your test, a lot of the time, like 12 lessons, if you're a raw beginner, it's not going to do it. Especially if you're doing manual, it takes a lot longer. Especially if you haven't got a car, you know what I mean? So you can do it, but you can do it. And then as you go through your lessons, then at least you're on the queue. And it is possible to get a test date like the next day after your 6 months is complete. But I don't really recommend doing it, especially if you're a raw beginner and you haven't got a car. What's the rush? Just kind of, I don't know, just enjoy the process. But a lot of people find it a bit of a growler. But you can if you want, is the answer. But if you can't drive, I wouldn't recommend it. It's a bit pointless. Where am I gone? Where's my questions? So weird one. It's always a weird one off you. So I was turning right into an estate and kids were playing football on the corner. I know you don't drive towards people. Reaction to hazards. Well done. I learned you good. What would you give them? Oh, sorry. Would you give them a beep if they don't see you before turning? So the reason why you use the horn in your car is to alert other road users of your presence. So in an extreme circumstance, if you think someone is going to crash into you, you beep the horn. You in your driving test, I've never had to beep at somebody in a lesson of all my years doing this, just because it never really happens. On the rare occasion, well, it's never happened, but I'm going to just put that question back on the screen again because I want to read it again. So you're saying those kids playing football, you don't drive. Would you would you give them a beep if they don't see you before you're turning? So that's you saying, I'm on this other road and there's kids all the way down there playing football. Do I start beeping at them when I'm too far away? The answer to that one is no. Unless they're right up at the road, just they will see you. On the rare occasion, beeping in your driving test at a load of kids probably wouldn't be the answer. They will see it and they will move out of your way. It would be unlikely that they didn't. If I had to complete the turn, would be in drive. Yeah, but like, how far up the road were they? You know what I mean? Like, you kind of just roll without pressing the accelerator. Like, are they right up on the road where you on the main road where you're turning from? It will. In your test, you don't want to beep at a load of children. I'd say, give it as long as you can, and then say to the tester, "Look, these aren't getting it." And then you might have a bit of a chuckle with them, and then say, "What would I do?" He might say, "What would you normally do?" And then you would say, "Beep." But in an extreme circumstance, maybe you might have to do it potentially. But wait for as long as feasible with that one. I don't really know what to say to that one, to be honest. Do I have anything else? And that was it. There wasn't too much coming through the WhatsApp. So I'm going to get straight into the comments there. So see what we have. Feel free to fire a few questions in there. So how are you doing, Bestie Vlogs? What's the crack? I'm first time driver. Doing my lessons at the minute. Well done. Hope they're all going well. Just wonder what insurance company is the cheapest for women. Unfortunately, I can't answer that. Maybe somebody might have an idea there. That would be out of my expertise for now. Maybe one day, but insurance broker would be a good one. So we have bonbons. What's the crack? So is there a particular way your mirrors should be when driving? So for your rear view mirror, you want to be able to see all of your back window. You shouldn't really see any of the roof of your car. You shouldn't really see any of your seats. They're usually perfectly shaped so that you should be able to see directly out your back window. With your wing mirrors, you want to see if you have a four-door car, you can aim for your back door handle on either side. You don't want to see any of your door or the passenger door. That's too much of your car. If you can see the passenger door or your door, tilt it away slightly and just aim for the back door handle or the back corner of your car if you don't have that. And again, not too low down so you can only see the ground, or too high up so you're looking up into the sky. Nice and flat, and aim for your back door handles if you have them. Well, that's the crack, Marty. Thank you so much for joining us again. You came on here 3 weeks ago telling you I failed my test. Got a cancellation last Friday and passed. Congratulations, bud. I'm delighted for you. Well done. 5 grade 2s and no marks on observation at all, thanks to back window. Deadly, bud. Well done. I get quoted on that one all the time, I do. But delighted for you, Marty. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. I really appreciate you, bud. And I'm delighted for you. Thanks for joining in and letting us know as well. What's the crack, Billy Bunter? Look out for street light. Good one. How you doing, ADMB? You're welcome, bud. Thank you so much. Silverio, what is the max distance allowed from the curb for the reverse around the corner? So, like, in the marking sheet guidelines, they do say reasonable distance from the footpath. You don't want to be really tight to the footpath when you're doing it because it leaves you zero room for error. You can probably leave up to about 1 meter. In my opinion, that would be a lot. You wouldn't want to be any more than that. But normally I do say 45 centimeters, but that's impossible to judge. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the word reasonably close. When you look in your left mirror, you know what's reasonably close and what's not. If it's really far from the footpath, little bit of left and just get yourself a little bit closer. But that's the word they use. There's no exact amount. It's just reasonably close. How you doing, Srijana? Was it yourself I was doing a lesson with there a couple of Saturdays ago? Hope all is well if it is. What are some examples of definite grade trays, please? Anything dangerous or anything that's completely against the rules of the road? So, um, like for instance, completely driving over a stop line without stopping will be a definite grade three. Like, you have me on the spot now. There's so many. Just doing something like complete disregard for the rules of the road. So if I'm coming to a roundabout, I look to the right and there's a car coming from this way, and I just say and just go. That'll be a grade three for right of way because it looks like you don't know the rules of the road. Like, why am I stumped? Just driving at pedestrians and stuff like that. Hitting the footpath when you're driving down the road, mounting the curb. Yeah, there's a lot of them. You can fail the curb for a lot of fail the test for a lot of different reasons. Just think anything that would be considered dangerous or complete disregard for the rules of the road. So yeah. How you doing, Venus? Sorry, I don't know what that says. Any tips for the reverse around the corner? So yeah, with the reverse around the corner, if you're what I do if you're only learning how to do it is I will break it down into stages. First, I'd focus on reversing back in a straight line, and then stopping when your back wheels actually get to the where the curb bends. I like to do the quarter steer system. The reason being, once you do the quarter steer system a few times, it kind of makes sense. And then you can kind of skip the stopping and the quarters. You just know that left is closer and right is away. That's how I like to do it. There is a lot of other methods like where people like let the curb disappear and do a load of left. There's a lot of different methods. But the moral of the story with the reverse around the corner, until it clicks in your head that left is closer and right is away, it's really hard because you're always thinking, wait, what way do I turn the wheel if I'm hitting the footpath? To learn that, you just have to do it wrong 20 times to figure out that little bit of left is closer and a little bit of right is further away. When that clicks, it's easier. It's just knowing that. And just remember, if I'm coming away from the path, ask yourself, what would I do if I was driving straight down the road? How would I get closer to the path? The answer is just a little bit of left. It's the same whether you're going straight or forward or in reverse. So it's a bit of a tricky one. It's hard to explain kind of when I'm not in the car with you. How you doing, bonbons? Should you indicate in a 30 housing state when overtaking a parked car and you are in between the two lanes or in the other lane? I hear conflicting things. I just tell people if you feel the need to signal, just do it. It's not that it's wrong, but a lot of the time you don't really. I just feel you don't need to. I would a lot of the time I just see a parked car, I check my mirror and I move out nice and early, and I drive straight past. By all means, if you feel the need to signal, just mirror signal. It's even better. But a lot of the time you don't really need to, especially when there's nobody around. You know what I mean? You're just signaling for no reason. So just if you feel the need to do it, by all means, signal out, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Just make sure there's not like a right turn where the tester might think that was a little bit misleading. It looked like you were turning right there. So that's kind of why I tend not to do it too much. Well, as a crack here, if I had completed the turn, would you been driving towards them? So yeah, but like there's a difference with driving towards someone with your foot on the accelerator and just letting the car roll with no pedals and just kind of hovering over the brake. They will have a better chance of seeing you if you do that rather than staying on the other road, waiting to turn, hoping that they turn around and see you while you're on a completely different road. than the children. It's a tricky one, don't get me wrong, it is a tricky one. I'd love to know how close they were to your road. Never a dull moment when you're driving. How you doing, Bala? I remember you from the other calls. Thank you so much again for joining us. So there are different stop sign line. It is confusing in Carlo Turls. Where to stop exactly, whether in sign followed by line 2 times, I need to stop. So so a lot of the time, so there's 2 different answers to this, right? So when you learn your theory test, if you learned from the book, I think it was the 3rd question into the book, it says, when there at a stop sign, when there is no line, where do you stop? And the answer is you stop at the sign, right? In the RSA marking sheet guidelines, before they changed it, I don't know if it's still the same, it says, if there is no line, stop where you think the line should be. So there's 2 answers there, which means both of them is correct. All right. Now, a lot of the time, if you see a stop sign with no line, but you see a different line, it's because the other line could be a no entry line. So in that scenario, I would stop at the sign and then I would go up to the no entry. And if you can't see, that's when I would stop again and do your peep and creep. So if you had a picture of that junction, you could, can you post photos in the comment section there? I'm not sure. Or even WhatsApp it to me there and I can put it on the screen if you like. For the insurance, I found the big one is AIG. Yep, there you go. You can't go wrong. A lot of time you see all these other kind of underwriters and stuff like like it's for women and all that. They usually just buying the policy off AIG. So you go straight to the middleman. Thanks for that, Marty. Would you ever make a video on driving in the Dublin Mountains on a one lane 2-way country road with a small passing places? Like, it's very niche, that video. I think you'll be the only one that would be interested in watching that one. If I'm going to go and do a video, I have to make sure like a few people actually want to watch it. But I know what you're saying. It can be tricky, but I don't know how good that video would be. Let me think about that one, bud. I'll have to intertwine that in with a different video as well. But thanks for that. I'll figure something out for you, bud. Deadly shit, Jan. I hope all is well. I hope the lessons are going well. How you doing, Adam? What's the best way to ensure you are seated correctly in the car? A few times after my lesson, my ankle on my right foot would be in bits. So that sounds like you're probably sitting a bit too close to the steering wheel because you're putting maximum strain on your ankle. Usually if you're too close, because your ankle will be bent back, your ankle will probably be a bit more sore. So when you're sitting, when you're your correct seating position in your car, you want to have a gentle bend in your arms. You don't want to be going stiff arm. That means you're too far away from the steering wheel. But also just a slight gentle bend in the knee. And you want to be able to move your kind of feet freely without banging your knee off the steering wheel. So in the way it sounds to me there, bud, you might be a little bit too close. Just go back 1 click on your chair, and that'll be perfect. But don't go too back so you're reaching the wheel. I always find that people have real stiff arms when they're steering. They always have really bad position. It's really hard to control the car with real stiff arms. So just go back 1 click in your chair, bud. That should do it. How you doing, Sabrio? I got 4 grade 2s for progress. Too slow. Is this? People always think they're doing great. The one mark that really just, if you ever do a lesson with me, I'm always pushing people on. I hate too slow. And so do the testers. They mark hard for progress. It's one of them silent killers where you think this test is going great, and the tester's saying, like, gee, I'm late for my next test because you're just being too slow. And yeah, it's really safe for you because you're real safe, you're going real slow, but it's infuriating for everybody else. The cars behind you that's late for work, it's and you're gonna make them do overtake you on a dangerous bend or something. Just the progress is a killer. Just make sure you go the speed limit when it's safe to do so. I can't stress that one enough. I hate seeing marks of progress. You're welcome, Sujana. Thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing, Jacqueline? If I'm driving in fourth and I'm coming up to a roundabout, which I should be in second for, can I jump gears? Of course you can. It's called block changing. If you are going to block change, the trick is hold the brake for a little bit longer. It's different if you're going fourth, third, you kind of light on the brake, clutching into third, and that's a nice smooth transition. If you're going to go fourth, block change to second, hold the brake that little bit longer, take the speed out of the car before you clutch in into second, and nice and slowly off the clutch. And it should be a nice smooth transition if you just take the speed out of the car first. So yeah, good question. And I always recommend people do that because it's just one less thing to do, you know. How you doing, Diamantis? I've got my driving test in 2 days. Anything I should do before then? So, where is your driving test? Stick it in the comments there. I'll see that in a minute. And it's just the usual stuff. But learn your signs, learn your questions. I usually leave videos in the comments. I forgot about that. So learn your signs, learn your questions, making sure you check your blind spot when you move off from a park position. Sorry, bud. Just focus on looking where you're going when you're turning roundabouts. When there's cars coming from the right, let them go first, and just practice your reversing your turnabout before your test. And best of luck, bud. Let me know where it is. Would you ever make a video on driving in mainland Europe with left-hand drive car on the right-hand side of the road? Yes, that can be done. I'm going to Spain for a month in April, and I might even, because I am thinking about doing content, because I do travel up and down with Spain a good bit. I might, that will be like a good video from yourself, because I'll be able to hit people from Ireland, UK. So that will be a good video. I might do that in April for you, bud. How much are the 30 questions and secondary controls worth? So your road signs and questions, if you do get all them wrong, that would be a grade 2. And if you got your secondary controls wrong, that would also be a grade 2. So that could be 2 grade 2s out your possible 8. So what's that? If I was doing mathematics there, that'd be 25% of your test. So yeah, just making sure they're so easy to learn, bud. Just learn them. I'm sure you see my road signs and questions video. They're all the most popular ones that get asked. Years of research went into them videos, so they should cover you for the hard ones. Best of luck, bonbons. Pass my driving test. What type of car would be the best to buy? How you doing, Joshua? Congratulations on passing your test. So you have to just ask yourself the question, what type of driving are you doing? Do you commute like 100 kilometers up and down the motorway to work every day? If that was the case, I would buy like a bigger engine car. I would go for a diesel personally. But if you're doing like little short journeys, a little small petrol would be ideal. It also depends on your budget. I wouldn't finance a car. That's one thing I would say to a lot of people. If you could save up a few quid and buy a runaround, they are the best. And save your money. And then when you're ready to buy a car for cash, just try upgrade your cars gradually rather than going for a big, hefty new car, because it's just going to plummet in value and the money is better off in your pocket. So if you want to just comment below, we've loads of time in this call. What type of journeys do you do? Do you live close to your job? Or let me know and I'll give you a few examples. What's the crack, Marty? The day before my test, I was going a bit too quick at roundabouts. Ended up getting a grade 2 for progression on a roundabout in the test. That's it. It's just finding that happy medium. It's, yeah, we don't go too fast with the roundabout, but at the same time, after we've done our observation, I know it's safe. That's when it's off the brake and continue on. You know what I mean? So yeah, but look at it's all a distant memory to you now, bud. You've passed. Well done. You're welcome, bud. You keep that in mind for your next lesson. Yes, of course. But yeah, just look have the ice that ankle. Um, you're welcome, Jacqueline. Thanks so much. How you doing, Olo Kunolo? Sorry if I butchered that. Passed my driving test in Maple House. Oh, thank you so much, bud. Congratulations on passing your driving test in Maple. I'm delighted for you. Well done. And thanks so much for joining us and letting us know today, bud. You're in Mallow. I couldn't answer you about that test centre. Where's Mallow? Cork? I did do Wilton. Will it be close to Wilton by any chance? You were class for your tutor. What's the crack? I'm going to just call you Burger King because of the logo. Oh, Borek King. Deadly. Well done. You're welcome, bud. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. So, how you doing, Aaron? I recently had an exam and received a grade 2 times for progress overtaken. However, I did not see anyone overtaking me. You have this backwards. Nor did I feel that I overtook anyone, as it was early in the morning and the road was clear. Could you please give your thoughts? So the reason why you got a mark for progress overtaken, it wasn't because someone was overtaking you, it's because you were overtaking something. Doesn't necessarily, like, it doesn't have to be like a car in motion. It could be just like a bus parked on the left, a cyclist, whatever it was, the test I felt that you were too slow overtaking, you just should have just got it done that little bit sooner. I always see people do that. They go to overtake some and just go heavy on the brake. But that's the opposite of what you want to be doing. You want to be getting past the thing you're overtaking, not prolonging it by slowing down as you get right beside them. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm not saying you personally do it, but I see so many people slowing down just as they go to overtake someone when it should be the opposite. So just when you're overtaking something, just get it done. Also, is dry steering allowed in the turnabout? And the answer is yes, it is. I did cover that in my turnabout video where I showed it. I have it on the screen from the marking sheet guidelines. The RSA call it dead steering. It's the same thing. It's called dry steering. But yeah, you are allowed to do it. If the road is really narrow, just lock your wheels before you go. When I am doing the turnabout, I do like to get the car in motion, just like 0.01 kilometer an hour, and then do the steering. But if you're struggling with it, by all means, just dry steer, and there's no problem with that whatsoever, bud. What's the crack, Alex? And today we are in Mulhuddard. Well done, bud. Hope all is well. Best of luck with that one. It's amazing, H. Good name. What do you have to do if your learning permit expires? I got one, but then couldn't afford the lessons until now. Yeah, that happens. That happens. It's an expensive ordeal getting on the road. What will be the next step? You just reapply with the NDLS. I think you get is a 4 learner permits. I don't know. They keep messing around with this rule. But if your first one expired, I think you'll have to pay for a new one, but you'll get another 2 years on that one. Just don't let it expire too much. I'll do your theory test again. How you doing, Ellen? Should you stop in the middle of doing your turnabout if someone is coming up the road before you reverse? Without Now, just bear in mind, so this happened to me the other day, and I wasn't surprised at all because it happens to me not most days, but the odd time it will happen where, okay, I've done me turnabout, I'm across the road into reverse, I look right and left, there's a car coming. Don't just reverse until you know that car is stopping, because a lot of times they will just try to squeeze up behind you and then drive past you. It happened to me the other day. And it also happened to me on a lesson. I was sitting in the car and we were on a lesson, and I just assumed the learner driver was going to stop. And because the car started to turn about and stopped, the learner driver decided to accelerate and try go. I was like, what are you doing? You're stopping to someone doing a turnabout. So just to answer your question, yeah, I'm across the road. I can see a car coming. When they start slowing, only then can you start going. But be decisive. Okay, they're stopping. Get it done. Don't leave it too long either, and then delay the process. But yeah, just make sure they don't want to drive past you on that one. I'd say Paris is the hardest city to drive. If you ever saw the Arc de Triomphe 12 exit roundabout, oh, now you're talking. Where people going onto the roundabout have right of way. Okay, yeah, no, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. Will I drive through France on my way home? I don't know when that one is going to be, but I will do that one. I won't have a patch on the Walkinstown roundabout that one. So that's a good one. Thanks for that, Vaz. How you doing, Ola? Left mirror, back window, blind spot. Whenever I say this, when I'm driving, everyone says I sound like you. Deadly. My testimony 100 on Thursday. Watch your videos. Watch your vids to the point. Deadly. That's what a lot of people say. Just pretend I'm beside you, just talking you through everything. And a lot of people say that works for them. So yeah, best of luck. Hope you smash your driving test. Let us know how you get on next Tuesday, bud. We're all cheering for you. My instructor never really used the handbrake and always has me having my foot on the brake when I come to a stop. That's grand. If I don't use the handbrake, it's no problem whatsoever. You can just stay on the foot brake. And if you're in a manual, the clutch as well, and leave it on first. Is there an ideal time for your exam? Loads of people say do it during rush hour. Oh God, no. Don't do that. Don't do rush hour. It's a horrible time to do your driving test. 10:05. The only time I say don't do 10:05 is when we're expecting ice, because then your test might get cancelled. But I do always, I've said it for years, 9:15 is okay as well, but 10:05 is, I think, is the best one. Or all the ones on Saturday morning are great. The traffic doesn't start building up till about 11 on Saturday, and it's not even that bad, the traffic. You're welcome. It's amazing. And is the insurance certificate needed for tests, or is that for March tests? Oh, I was actually meant to talk about that today. What was the crack with that again? Didn't they bring it in for the 19th of March, was it? No, was it the 4th of March they brought that in for? If you're doing the test in your own car, all they want is the certificate that your disc was attached to. That's the piece of paper they want. All the rest of it is pointless. It's just that sheet making sure your name is on it, saying that you're insured on this vehicle. That's what they want. So yeah, just make sure you have that. Is it the 4th of March or the 5th of March? I can't remember. But best of luck on that one, bud. You're welcome, Jacqueline. And that's it. That's the last question there. Are we still on? Oh yeah, 45 minutes. That was a good one. So glad you said that. I have me test on at 10:45. Well done, Jim. 10:05. Yeah, that's always been my favorite one. I do like the 10:05. The roads are peaceful. The kids are in school. Everyone's in work. It's before lunch. Just personally, that's just my favorite one. There's one more question there. As well as item listed in your pre-test checklist sent in your booking confirmation email from March 9th, 2026, you must also present a valid... Yeah, so just bring in your learner permit and your insurance. That should be all you need. The 9th of March, is it? Thank you so much, Aaron. I can't think off the top of my head. But that's it, lads. We'll call it a day on that one. One more from yourself, Adam. This is the last one, all right? I'm tired. Long old days. So based on your experience, I know everyone is different, but how many lessons do you think you'd roughly need? Because 12 is quite a low number. It just depends on your skill level, but how quick you get driving is completely different than somebody else. Also, it depends if you're a raw beginner and you've never sat in a car and you want to do manual, 12 isn't going to do it. It's just once I had one guy, and he was like an excellent Gaelic player and hurler, and he just got the driving. We'd done 12 lessons. He didn't do any lessons, and he rented a test, and he passed with no driving. He's a unicorn, that fella. But just because he was really good at stuff like sport and stuff, they tend to get it a lot sooner. Not to say that other people that aren't good at sport don't get it, but it's just everyone's they learn, they're better at different things. So it just depends whether it's manual, automatic, how you pick up, how good you are at the mechanical side of learning compared, you know what I mean? But 12 is a very low number. Just remember, you're supposed to do 12 EDTs, but in between each EDT, you're supposed to practice what you learned with your sponsor. Now, a lot of people don't have the luxury of a sponsor or a car or someone to practice with. So it just depends. So yeah, thanks for that, bud. Right, I'm gonna rip through this. You're welcome, bud. Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Advice. Another great stream. You're welcome, bud. And did you not pass your test last week? Did we not celebrate you last week? You're welcome, Adam. Thanks so much for joining me. See you all next week. I love your videos. Have a great evening. You're welcome, Adam. Thanks so much. I was worried sick about you. I didn't know where you were. Stalling the car, a grade 3? Not necessarily. It can be a grade 2. Depends the reason why you quit out. If you try to move off your handbrake up, if you mark for handbrake. If you cut out because you came off the clutch too early, it will be only a grade 2 for clutch. How far in advance can I book my exam once I get invited? Or I don't know the answer to that one. You get a load of dates. You don't take the first batch. You can reschedule twice. You might get about a 6-week runway out of that one. Good man. Good man. Well done. I'm assuming you're a man. But thanks so much for joining us again. Right, now, lads, the questions are going to just keep on coming in. Last two. Test tomorrow in Raheny. Is it true I need insurance? It's coming in March. That strike is not going ahead. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. You're covered. FlexiDrive have the correct insurance. Don't worry about that. What's the story, Luke? Any review on the Get Driving app? Nothing got to do with me. I have no idea, bud. I don't recommend or endorse any of them. Either do the RSA. So just be careful with any of them apps. They are nothing got to do with me. So I'm going to take them comments off the screen. I can't see anymore. So look, lads. Well done. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. Does people text me every day saying, I have my test next week. Can you get me in this, that, or whatever? If you want me to help you, you have to give me notice. My next available weekend is the 21st of March. I only do Saturday. And my next available midweek is around Paddy's Day. So just, if you do want me to help you in Tala, you have to let me know. Don't text me and say, when I get my date, I will text you. My usual reply is, that would be too short notice, and I'll just send you to somebody else. We all say the same thing anyway. It doesn't matter whether you get me or you get somebody else. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'm doing all this for you. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, or if you're on me Facebook, hit the follow button. But more importantly, hit that subscribe button on my YouTube. And yeah, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, join the membership. It's all there in the description. And I will see you next Tuesday, same time. All right. Best of luck to everybody, and congratulations to everybody who passed that test. All right. Adios.